Yeah, one of my buddies, his wife, she wanted to fix me up with her best friend, but then she got a little hesitant. She's like, look, I don't want her to get hurt. Are you good at relationships? I was like, am I good at relationships? I'm 52 years old, I'm single, and I've never been married. Are you good at math?
Do the math on that, right? That is comedian Aaron Foster, who's former HGTV host who is now trying his hand. I should say trying. You've been doing this for years. You're doing comedy, and now he's joining us this morning to talk about his show coming up in Davis. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I love this. I was reading this off of your website. This is the description of your show. Growing up with a bipolar father and schizophrenic older brother left Aaron Foster with a combination of survivor's guilt, depression, and anxiety that has invalidated his every accomplishment, destroyed his every relationship, and invaded his every waking thought. A comedy!
There you go. Yeah, what's funnier than that?
You do not hold back, though, in your work.
I don't, and I think it's because I hold back everywhere else. I had an interesting couple of years ago with my therapist. She said, why can't you talk about this stuff? I know you're a writer. Why don't you write about it? So I came in the next week. She started reading it, and she said, I didn't mean jokes. So here I am now, a few years later, telling it all on stage.
I mean, I don't want to get like too, psychoanalysis, but did you find humor was your way of dealing with?
I have, yeah.
I've
found it to be almost the only way that I can deal with some of this stuff. And I think we all have our own versions of these things that go wrong in our lives or whatever. So I don't think it's anything especially dramatic, but it's very particular to me, and that's the way I deal with it, trying to laugh about it.
So we mentioned you hosted a show on HGTV. It was called Freestyle, correct?
It was called Freestyle, yeah. The premise of that show was that I did home makeovers, but I did them without spending any money. I was only allowed to use what the homeowners already had. Do not think about that premise for more than a couple seconds. You will quickly realize our before and after pictures were almost identical.
You just moved stuff around.
Pretty much.
So you do that, and then you make this move into comedy. You mentioned your therapist was pivotal in that. How have you enjoyed it? How have you liked the comedy world?
I love doing the show. Everything else that goes along with it is anxiety-inducing.
Like
booking venues, trying to sell tickets as an unknown person, trying to convince you to spend a little bit of money and an hour and a half of your night to see somebody you've never heard of is a challenge.
So where has it taken you so far, and what has been your experience
geographically?
On the road? Yeah, geographically. What's been your experience on
mostly
the road?
I've been around the western states, California. I live in Reno, so lots of Tahoe stuff, Washington, Oregon, Canada. I did a couple shows in Arkansas a few months ago. That was interesting. It went about as well as you might think with somebody like me.
What was the issue?
No, it was actually
cultural
pretty good.
differences?
The issue really was I said, I would love to come do a show. You have to say something in your promotion about dark comedy, or he talks about mental health. 5 minutes before the show, I look at the flyer of how they promoted the show, which was sold out. They said, you used to be on HGTV, now he's here to make you laugh. And I thought, this is going to be a little rough.
But let's not overlook the important thing. It was sold out.
It was sold out.
That's
so,
the important part.
Yes, it's the most money I've ever been paid to do stand-up. Not a ton, but still.
Listen, getting paid to do stand-up that's on the continuum of success in that industry. That's a big step.
It was, yes, that was a plus. And it also taught me that I need to be better, not just promoting the show, but at the front of my show, I do it about an hour and 15 minutes, and about 5 minutes in, I sort of take a little pause and I say, here's what's going to happen tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff that you might not think you can laugh about. I promise, it's okay. You can laugh about it.
Do you find that it's a little cathartic for the audience? That there's people that are probably dealing with a little bit of each piece of thing that
is the hope. And yes, I have had some really wonderful experiences with people after the show who come up and talk to me and say, thank you so much for talking about this, or I have a lot of connection with what you were talking about, to which I always say, I'm sorry.
We'll get through this together.
Yeah, and I think laughing about it, talking about it has become, depression, anxiety, mental health in general, this sort of stuff, dysfunctional families has certainly become more accepted. Joking about it, I think, is a little bit different level for some people that they're not sure I see a lot of this sometimes at my show.
Yeah.
Can I laugh at that?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Do you feel better after you do a performance?
I feel better when I'm doing it. I feel better after, and then I wake up the next morning and I look at the ticket count for the next show, and I gotta get back to work.
Well, let's talk about selling some tickets. Where are you performing? How do people get tickets?
I am in Davis tomorrow, which is where I went to college. So I'm excited to be back there. Yeah, and I'm at Watermelon Music. I believe they call their venue the Melon Ball.
The Melon Ball.
The Melon Ball. Yeah, and you can get tickets at AaronFoster.com. mostlyjokes.com. I forgot the name of that website.com. Yeah. Just in case you
Fantastic.
forget the name of that website.
Tell you what, we are going to link all of that to our website, gooddaysacramento.com. He is Aaron Foster, performing tomorrow night in Davis. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
All
having
right,
me.
best of luck with that.